And this Trump China Xi Trump reset, yeah, it's starting. It's here, and where it will drive the price, we'll have to wait and see. But when they come out and they announce some kind of conference to renegotiate this new monetary order, then you probably should know that we're pretty close to where they want gold to be. And I don't know the price, but I think it will be a lot higher than it is now. And I think it's going to be a lot faster. It's not going to take a year or two. I think it's a matter of months now. Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Well, we're going to look at gold again. I think it's more important than ever to talk about gold. And of course, we cover gold a lot on this channel. It's probably one of the major focus. And why is that? Well, because when I bought my first gold coins back in 2002, I started looking into gold and into the history of gold, into the history of the monetary system. Because when you do look at gold, there's no way that you can't look at money and the history of money. And I went down the rabbit hole and I realized how important it still is, was, and still is today. Unfortunately, for 99.9% of the public out there, this is never taught in school or university. If it is taught at all, it's in passing. I remember when I was at university in an economics class, one of the professors mentioned the closing of the gold window, but that was it. He didn't even go into details, didn't even go into what impact it had ever since. And certainly if I was that professor, I would have, but I probably would have lost my job. So yes, it's really good that the gold price is going up or the dollar and the other fiat currencies are going down. It's good for us who have been buying gold, who have been stacking, who have held on to it. That's the other thing that's really tough. It's psychological. You get a lot of naysayers, a lot of propaganda, especially from the mainstream, from the elites, because they don't want the plebs to own any gold. I've got a book here about Florence in the Middle Ages. The public didn't own gold. They were left with the silver. Not that silver is any bad, but yes, I've been talking about this, of course, for many years. The FT saying that gold was finished back in 2004, and it was at $400. Now we're at $3,480. Yes, gold has hit 3,500 just about overnight in the spot price. So what do I think is going on? And sorry for the long introduction. Well, I think there is a war, a gold war, a war in the bullion markets for gold. And so who's waging that war? Well, we got a big hint a couple of days ago. I didn't really speak too much about this yesterday. And it was from President Trump, or I might have spoken about it during the live stream late on Sunday. And he posted on, I think it was Truth Social, or it could have been on X, but he said the following: the golden rule of negotiating is success. He who has the gold makes the rules. Thank you. Well, we've spoken about that before, and I've spoken about it and pointed out that back during the Bretton Woods Conference, the reason the U.S. ran the show is because the U.S. by the approaching the end of World War II, had about 2/3 of all the world's official gold reserves, so it could dictate the terms. So in the last few months, especially after listening to Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent, and when he did this interview, the elections hadn't even taken place, so he wasn't Secretary of the Treasury. But he said in this interview, and I'm going to put a link to this interview. It's on YouTube here up in the cards. He said that he thought we're going into a Bretton Woods style monetary realignment. And yes, if you've done your homework, if you've studied monetary history, like I have been since 2002, and you've studied gold, you will know that gold is the only asset, really, monetary asset that you can negotiate with. All the rest is debt, of course, and debt can be defaulted upon. Gold cannot be defaulted. If you have gold, it's there. No one can really default on gold. It's not political, it's neutral, and it has, yes, it's been a store of value, and for thousands of years. And talking about like counterparty risk, because that's what debt is. So if you're negotiating for the future of the world's monetary system, let's say the US and China, and that is the war, that is the US and China, you want to have the gold. You don't want the paper, because the paper can be frozen, just like Russia found the hard way, $300 billion worth of European and US government bonds back in 2022. But the other thing, there's another interesting saying to do with possession, of course, and it's the following. It's that possession is 9/10 of the law. And I think that might play a big part, unfortunately, for those people who, or those countries who think that their gold is safe at the New York Fed. Because I've looked it up here. And the New York Fed, by the way, is a private bank, but it is in the United States. So I don't think the Trump administration would have any problems freezing that gold and taking possession of that gold that belongs to other nations. Most of the gold, I think all of the gold at the New York Fed, belongs to other nations. There's no U.S. gold there. And I've looked it up. They have 6,331 metric tons, which is a bit more than the Bank of England's. And that corresponds to about 203 million ounces. The U.S. officially has 261 million ounces, or 8,130 or so metric tons. Yes, there's been speculation that that gold has been long gone, but as we've seen since late last year, a lot of physical gold is flowing back to the U.S., at least 2,000 tons, probably even more that we don't know about. So there's also the theory that, and a lot of people like Alistair MacLeod, Ronan Manley, and many others, Dominic Frisby, have done research, and they say that China really has over 30,000 metric tons. The 2,300 metric tons that they officially have is just a joke. Just like the U.S., people question whether the U.S. has the 8,100 tons. A lot of people have questioned whether China has a lot more. And I think if Trump and the people behind him, his advisors, his Secretary of the Treasury, if they have done their homework, they should know that China has a lot of gold, because I've seen a lot of people commenting in relationship to that Trump comment about the golden rule. Is that does he know that China actually has a lot more gold than officially stated. And I hope he does, because he will. The U.S. will be in really bad shape to negotiate if they've only got 8,000 and the Chinese have like 35,000 metric tons. Of course, they could take the Fed's, New York Fed's custodial gold, and that would bring them up to 15,000. So maybe that's why we're seeing gold go up so much, because maybe Besant and Trump and their advisors have realized Chinese have a lot more gold. And I would venture to say that they should know that. I mean, it's all over the internet, that kind of information. So maybe that's why gold is going up so much, because the bullion banks are covering their shorts, and the U.S. government, through proxies, bullion banks, is also accumulating physical. And I'm not going to speculate where the price could go if, let's say, the U.S. and President Trump decide that they need about 32,000 metric tons, which would pretty much equate what the Chinese probably have. So I think that's what it's all about. It's a gold war. And unfortunately, I think China might come out on top a little bit financially, because they've been accumulating their gold for over 20 years. The U.S., under Trump, they've just realized they need the gold, and it's only been in the last 6 to 7 months or so that they've actually started buying that gold. And I know it's prior to January 20th, but I'm sure the people at the big banks, the bullion banks, they got the nod, and I think that's what's happening, and that's why gold's going through the roof. Because for many years, the United States and like the UK and others, they kept this bullion market rigged in order to keep the dollar strong, because it was the major reserve currency. But all it did was create more and more current account deficits for the U.S. Yes, more and more surpluses for countries like China. And I think that's over now. So I like to quote this Canadian politician. He posted this the other day, yesterday, I think. He's the leader of the People's Party of Canada, Maxime Bernier, and he was in finance, and he said the following in relationship to that Trump comment about the golden rule. The monetary reset is happening before our eyes. Tariffs are just a sideshow. Well, I've said that a few times as well. The real problem is dealing with the massive unsustainable debt accumulated over decades. We're going to pay it back through money debasement. Well, that's the price of gold going through the roof, or the currency going down, and inflation. There's no free lunch. Fiat currencies are collapsing while gold keeps reaching new all-time highs. Americans can't continue to live beyond their means with the dollar as world reserve currency. The world is de-dollarizing, and the U.S. empire is giving way to a multipolar world. The transition will be painful. Trump knows it, and that's why he's pushing for a quick reset. Well, multipolar world. Even the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, mentioned that we are now in the multipolar world in an interview with Megyn Kelly a few months ago. He says, Monsieur Bernier says, unfortunately, Canada is not prepared. Our establishment is clueless. We're the only major country with no gold reserve. We must build one with all the gold we have in the ground. Fasten your seatbelt. This will have a huge impact on your life, whoever wins next week's election. So I thought that was very interesting. So I'm going to stop here. I'm sure some of you or many of you are wondering, is it too late to buy gold? I don't think so. If you're able to afford to buy gold at these prices, I would be doing it if you have the extra fiat currency savings. And why is that? Well, because this is far from over. As Monsieur Bernier from Canada said, this is happening before our very eyes right now. And yeah, gold is going to benefit. What about silver? Silver has really been frustrating. Silver is going to benefit eventually. It's going to take off. I would be buying silver as well. It's probably going to even outperform gold eventually. Before we look at the markets, just a little story about Rudy. Yesterday was a beautiful day, so after I posted my video, we went out to the park. He loves the park, and we hadn't been very many times lately because it was winter. Wasn't very nice. He gets really excited. I mean, I put him in the car. It's not far from our house, but it's a long walk for him. So took the car, parked near the park. And when you put him in the car, he knows he's going to the park, so he starts barking. He goes mad. He stops, though, once we start driving. But what happened yesterday was really interesting. It's a big park. There are loads of dogs walking with their owners. And yeah, I took the lead off him, and many of the other dogs as well were without their leads. And they were like saying hello to each other, sniffing, but nothing too serious. He was behaving, following me. And then all of a sudden I look up to the left, and there's a big field, and there's a little Shih Tzu with its owner. And Rudy runs right towards that Shih Tzu, and the Shih Tzu looked just like him. So I walked over, and I started talking to the owner as a young man, and it was a little girl, Shih Tzu. And he said, well, she's just over 2 years old. And I said, so is Rudy. I said, he was born on the 1st of December, 2022. And then he started thinking, oh, she was born on the 1st of December. And we realized that it was one of Rudy's sister, Tofu. And it's amazing how they connected. And it was really nice to see. So I took a photo of it, of Rudy and his sister. So here it is. Yeah, Tofu. And yeah, when we bought Rudy, it was him and 3 sisters. So that's one of them. I actually got the owner's number, so we can remain in contact. Maybe we go for a walk so they can meet again. So I thought that was really nice. But now back to serious business, back to the markets. So it's 9 past 8 a.m. London time. And we've got spot gold now at 34.74. Yes, it's up $50, but it's been up as much as 75 because the high was 3,500. So it's up 1.4%. Silver, yeah, thereafter silver, we're now down 15 cents at 32.50. Doesn't make sense, does it? The only thing I can think of is that they've got such a huge short, the bullion banks, and they're desperate because of what gold is doing, and they're fighting tooth and nail to keep that price below 33 for now. But I don't think they'll succeed, and all we need is patience, and all we need is to keep stacking physical, not ETFs. ETFs are bankers' instruments, and if you buy ETFs, you're playing right into their hands. You need to take the physical out of the market. So yeah, the high in silver has been 32.92. The stock market is up today, yeah, we had a big drop, fairly big drop in the Dow. It finished down just under 1,000 points. And yeah, the Dow Gold ratio is plummeting. It will correct higher, of course, but eventually we're going to go 1-to-1. And this Trump, China, Xi, Trump reset, yeah, it's starting. It's here. And where it will drive the price, we'll have to wait and see. But when they come out and they announce some kind of conference to renegotiate this new monetary order, then you probably should know that we're pretty close to where they want gold to be. And I don't know the price, but I think it will be a lot higher than it is now. And I think it's going to be a lot faster. It's not going to take a year or two. I think it's a matter of months now. So we're living in interesting times. So yeah, the stock market is up a little bit today, about 1% across the board. The currencies have stabilized a bit. The dollar's still dropping versus the yen here. It's just above 140. WTI crude is at 63, up 1%. High-grade copper is up 1%. So that excuse that silver is not doing well because it's an industrial metal as well as monetary, that's a bad excuse. I think silver is not doing well because it's being kept down by the bullion banksters, and that's what they are, banksters. They're the ones who imposed this horrible fiat currency system that we've had since 1971, which has indebted the whole world up to its up to its head, and that's why I've always told people, get away from debt and stack. That's the only way that you can remain sovereign and independent. And that's the only way you can make your own rules, right? Just like President Trump said, it's the golden rule. If you don't have any gold, you can't, you are dependent on the people who do have the gold. So there you go. Just before we wrap up, just wanted to point out that the treasury market is not reacting very well, especially at the longer end. We're up about 9 basis points on the 10-year and the 30-year yield. I think that's to do with Trump putting pressure on Powell. The bond market doesn't like that. So right now, the 10-year yield is up another 2 basis points at 442. And the 30-year is approaching 5%. We're at 492. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye.